Hey guys, this is the lehrbehr here with an 8-4 draft for the themtgnoob. It's pretty late on some odd night that I'm doing this, but let's see if we can't get this started, see how we do here. In our first pack, the strongest cards in this pack are the Arrest, the Sky Knight, and the Explosive Impact. What we're going to be taking is the Arrest. It's the strongest removal spell in the pack, and it's in one color, which I feel like is better coming out of the first pick. Um, the second pick is probably the Sky Knight, although I am a really big fan of Explosive Impact. Other like cards of note, I guess, are the Scorpion and the Pursuit of Flight are like really solid cards, but then the rest of this pack is a little bit on the weaker side, but we'll grab the Arrest here. Coming into the second pack, we have Axebane Guardian. Cackler is a card. But I'm not sure that's exactly what we want to go. I think I'm just going to grab the Axebane Guardian here. All the other cards in this pack are pretty weak. I mean, there's Cackler and Surge is like obviously a fine playable. I mean, there are playables in this pack, like Imp is good in Golgari, Inspiration is obviously playable, Doorkeeper, Croc. But I think Axebane Guardian is like the strongest card in this pack. But most of these cards are either like tier 2, tier 3 kind of cards. We'll grab the Axebane. Alright, so here. Interesting. So, the strongest card in this pack is probably this Chainwalker. um, but that does just flat leave us out of one of the cards that we've taken. I mean, that last pack wasn't that strong where I'm like, oh man, I didn't take I'm gonna lose this Axebane Guardian, I'm gonna be so upset. Underworld Connections is a fine card, but I mean, like, if you think about it, you pay 3 mana. Like, Sign in Blood in M13 was 2 black, or wasn't it M13? I forget, but Sign in Blood is 2 black, lose 2 life, draw a card, and that's at instant speed, and it's at sorcery speed, but can it hit your opponent? Like, Sign in Blood is actually possibly better than this card. I think I'm just going to grab the Chainwalker here. My personal strategy early in the packs is just to take the strongest card no matter what color it is, and then sort of just figure out your colors later. So I'm going to run with that. In the next pack here, there's a Giant Growth, there's a Knightly Valor, Traitorous Instinct. Hussar Patrol is fine, but I mean, like, I don't want to jump into a fourth color already. Not if we don't get a clear signal. I think here I'm just going to grab the Knightly Valor. Works well with the Arrest. And then, I mean, we can either go Izzet or, Selesnya, depending on, what the rest of these packs come. There's also a white-red deck that is viable, somewhat. If you can get enough, like, Chainwalkers, Splatter Thugs, and then, like, Eyes in the Skies, and you need, like, Dino Charges and stuff. So that's something to keep an eye out for. If we had taken that Cackler, it would be an interesting thing to go, but I think I'm just going to grab the Knightly Valor. Here there's a Pursuit of Flight. There is a Dryad Militant. Keening Apparition is fine. I think the strongest card in here is the Pursuit. I'm a personal fan of it. I'm a really big fan of it. I'm not a terribly big fan of the Militant, although it does work with Selesnya if we do choose to go that, and it does work in like. Technically, it does work in like. It's just a 2/1 though. Sometimes it's terrible. A lot of the times it's terrible unless you're like a really, really aggressive deck. I think I like Pursuit of Flight a little bit better. I'm going to grab that here. Here, Launch Party is the strongest card. We also have a Drudge Beetle. But if we were going to take a 2/2, I'd just take the Keening Apparition. I'm not going to jump into... this green pick might just be dead. It does not seem like that's flowing at all in this pack. It seems like sorta Azorius is open, like considering those 2 Hussar Patrols, but even then, these have just been really weak packs. Launch Party and Sewer Shambler being here is interesting, but I think I'm just going to grab the Keening Apparition. Alright, here we get Inspiration versus another Axebane Guardian. I do think Axebane Guardian is the better card, but I mean, considering our colors right now, it's either Bant. I think we're probably going to go white, and then we can go either Bant or Izzet Azorius. depending on like the next pack. So that means inspiration does leave us a little bit more open. So I'm gonna grab the inspiration here. Here we have a Fairy Imposter or an Inaction Injunction. This really comes down to, I mean, like, do we have anything right now that really works with Fairy Imposter? Not quite yet. Albeit it is probably the possibly stronger card. If we're going, I mean, if we are going Azorius and we can pick up a couple of Detain guys, it would be worth it. Inaction Junction is the safer pick. I think because it's easy. Like Fairy Imposter, picking it up this early, you can sort of not build around it, but you can pick up cards later that'll work with it. Here, let's take the Racketeer, I guess. Here we could take another Inspiration, which I feel like probably is right. Or we could take a Backlash, but I feel like you can get Backlashes later. Take a Cobble Root. Flooding, I suppose. Take the Rare. Take the Slug. And Mountain. Okay, so coming out of that first pack, we're sort of in Is It Azorius, although like the cards were not that strong. Like coming out of that pack, I'm really not happy with where we are right now. It didn't seem like we were getting like a super clear signal. Those Hussar patrols were probably, I would have liked picking them up, but I mean, that would stick us in flat Azorius, which would be nice, instead of this like, you know, like all the cards I guess that we have right now are just monocolor, which is bad. But hopefully we can pick up some interesting cards in the second pack. Yeah, that works. I had my eyes closed there, so when the pack popped up, I didn't actually see it. Yeah, that's an easy pick. I mean, like it's the second strongest card in the set. Easy pick. There's no question. Plus, we were thinking about going these colors anyway, so. I didn't even look. I saw the explosive impact, but then I didn't really look at the rest of that pack. I didn't really need to, if you want me to be honest with you. Alright, here we have Annihilating Fire. Seems like a solid pickup. We could splash this Arrest and Knightly Valor is the way that we're looking right now. So if we hide that Keening Apparition, all of a sudden we're pretty solidly in Is It. This Annihilating Fire is nice. The Tower Drake would be a nice pickup. It could wheel out of this pack because this pack is actually pretty good. There's Eyes, Herald, Scorp, Fire, Valor, Decoy, Charm, Tower Drake. Yeah, it could wheel. We'll take the Fire though. Another Pursuit of Flight. There's an Overgrown Tomb, but I don't even think they're worth that much anymore. Blusher Squall or Pursuit of Flight. It really depends on how aggressive we see this deck going. I think I'd rather have the Blusher Squall right now. We already do have one Pursuit of Flight anyway. So I'll take the Blusher Squall here. If we had like another Chainwalker or a Weird, I might take the Pursuit, but here I'll just grab the Blusher Squall. Ooh, that's a Hellhole Flailer. We could take that and splash, but I feel like the white is a fine splash already. Here we could take Lobber Crew, or we could take Vassal Soul. It really depends on what direction you see your deck going, whether it's going to be aggressive or whether it's going to be more defensive. Right now we don't have a lot of ways to untap the Lobber Crew, which is unfortunate. Although I do feel like Lobber Crew is a better card than Vassal Soul, just flat out, so I'm probably just going to take the Lobber Crew here. There's a Rakdos Key Rune, but there's also a Rune Wing, which I feel like is the pick. Over really nothing much else. I mean, the Key Rune would be nice if we took that Flailer, but I'll take the Rune Wing. Here's a Guild Mage versus another Pursuit of Flight. Man, we would have had a lot of Pursuit of Flights. Here I'm going to take the Guild Mage. It's in our colors. Guild Mages are good. Pursuit of Flight is also good, but we're not aggressive enough right now to really pick up a second one. As I say that, pick up a Swatter Thug. I'd like to take this Traitorous Instinct. This is a pretty strong pack considering the fact that this is so late. Like Splatter Thug, Reveler, Instinct, Fencing Ace, Courser's Accord. This pack must have been ridiculous. Wow. That is another Pursuit of Flight. I think I gotta take it over the Skywatch. I mean, like, now with so many Pursuit of Flights going around, like, you can just go super duper aggressive. Like, if we can just pick up a couple more 3-drops, that makes me want to retake that pick and take a Vassal Soul. But I mean, Cobble Roots become much more playable when you're playing Pursuit of Flights. I mean, like, yeah, a lot of reason to take this Pursuit of Flight over the Skywatch right now, so I'm gonna take it. If we can pick up like one more Chainwalker, it becomes worth it. Because all of a sudden, then you're facing down a 5/4, which is just really hard to deal with. Here, gonna grab the Armory Guard, though we won't be playing it. Hide it. Here you go. Okay, so right now, I mean, this pack Tower Drake came back, which is really nice for us. Like I was saying, that pack was pretty strong, so the chances that card was going to come back decently likely. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I mean, like we're kind of, I mean, Chemister's a good enough card in and of itself to just take, obviously, but we're kind of, what I was going to say is that we're kind of want to be aggressive with the pursuits. But then we have stuff like Chemister is not, and Inspiration is not necessarily very aggressive. Here we could take Backlash or Battlehorn. I like Backlash a lot, actually. Especially if you can pick up those Electromancers. I don't think we need the Battlehorn right now. I'll take the Backlash. I don't want to play 2 Inspirations if I can avoid it. And like having 1 Backlash is actually not terrible. Especially if you're the aggressive deck, you can just use it as like a random burn spell plus tempo, which is really nice. And if we can just pick up like 1 or 2 Electromancers, that'd be really great. It becomes a lot better when you only have to pay 3 for it. Right now, also, we want to try to splash for this arrest, but if we can't, I mean, what are you going to do? The Nightly Valor we don't need to necessarily splash for. If we get a lot of fixing in the next pack, we obviously will, but we don't need it. Teleportal would be pretty nice right now. Ooh. So there's a Chainwalker, an Electromancer, and a Skymark Rock. I mean, between the 2 drops, it's the Chainwalker, obviously. Oh, man. Do we want to be, like, hyper-aggressive, or we just take the stronger card? I think we just take the stronger card. Skymark Rock is ridiculous. Could this Guildgate wheel? It's possible. Cancel. Like, we'll definitely get a cancel out of this pack, at the very least. Skymark Rock or Chainwalker? I'm leaning more towards Skymark Rock because we want to splash an arrest already, but we don't have any forms of fixing, which makes it really awkward. I'm gonna take the Skymark Rock here. That could be wrong, but I feel like it's just like so much stronger than Chainwalker, because Chainwalker sometimes is not dead on board, but like they throw down a 2/2. It's looking kind of sad. Whereas Skymark Rock is just crazy sometimes. I'm going to pick up the Key Rune here, even though it's like a weak... It's obviously a weak Key Rune, but I mean, like, it's a form of fixing, which we do need. Even though we're not even going to hit anything at the 5. Like, there's nothing much else in this pack anyway. Like, Trick, which we'll probably wheel anyway. Take that. Staticaster, Hover Barrier. Stealer would be nice, but here we're just, obviously, I think it's a pretty obvious pick that we're just going to take the Fire. Nice little pickup for us. Void Wielder over an Action Injunction seems like the pick, even though Guild Mage and an Action Injunction work really well together. I'm just gonna grab the Void Wielder. Solid bounce spell attached to a creature. Vassal Soul or Skywatch is the pick. I'm gonna take the Vassal Soul. Even though it's a little bit harder to cast, I feel like it's better for us. We might not play this Fairy Imposter, it depends. I'm going to take the Vassal Soul. Azorius Guildgate seems like the pick. I'm pretty sure we didn't see any fixing before this, but I mean, like, yeah, this is obviously the pick. So now we can try to splash for the arrest in the Skymark Rock relatively well. And if we're lucky, out of that first pack, we'll see the, what's it called again? This is a second Fairy Imposter. You could, like, cycle Fairy Imposters. That seems stupid. We don't have anything that bounces with it, though, right now, which is really sad, but I don't think we're going to play anything else. I mean, we might just take it. Like, what else are we going to play? The Racketeer? We got enough 3 drops where I'm not dying for another one. I'm not going to play 2 backlashes. Ooh, Syncopate. This is not our pack yet. Syncopate's a nice little pickup for us. I love Syncopate in this set. Nothing came back. It's unfortunate. I was hoping that maybe like that Gilgate might have wheeled, but unfortunately it was not to be. We'll take the Imp because it's the best card. Here we'll take Trick. It's not a bad card necessarily. So I think this deck is shaping up pretty well. We're probably not going to play both of those imposters, but we might. Like, we're probably not going to play this Backlash. We'll probably play one imposter. And then, like, because we do have a Void Wielder, which obviously won't be too bad. And then, you know, you can always just play it as a 2/1 flyer sometimes. Like, it does have, like, random upside sometimes, like if they arrest your dude or something like that, or put a Paralyzing Grasp on it, it will save it from that, which works nicely. And we do have the Void Wielder, so I mean, playing one is probably safe enough. Run 13 creatures. Maybe only run 1 Pursuit of Flight. I will play the Syncopate. I really like Syncopate in this set. Although you guys might know that already since the set's been out for a while already. So, we're going to put in the Guildgate, the Guildmage. Backlash will not put in. Rock and Soul. 1 Pursuit right now. If we had a Stealer, I know we saw a Stealer in that last pack, but we couldn't take it because I think we took, I think we might have taken the Fire over it. Play 1 Imposter for now. Tower Drake, cancel. Inspiration. 1 Inspiration for now. Void Wielder, Syncopate. Arrest. Okay, so that's 22. With 13 creatures. So this is a 4-drop. This is a 4-drop. This is like a 3-drop, I guess. Could be a 2-drop, actually, because it'll cancel out something. Let's see. Our 3-drops are really awkward with all these triple mana spells. Triple casting cost spells. Wish we had a couple bounce spells. Though I don't like. Ooh, why did that happen? We could just play 2 Fairy Imposters, technically. It's a little awkward for us, because if you have 2 in your hand and no other creatures, that just seems terrible. But it might be okay. Like, 13 creatures is alright, and we do have a decent amount of removal and stuff to do where I'm not dying for 1. Could also play another Pursuit of Flight. But I think if we're playing double enchantments, I'd want to have more creatures than we do now. Could also play Batterhorn. Inspiration. So let's take out the cards that are like a possibility. Inspiration, Imposter, and like Batterhorn. I feel like Imposter is going to be a 4-mana 2/1 most of the time. I'm playing 1 for the random upside of maybe bouncing a Void Wielder. I feel like I can play Batterhorn in this deck. I want another creature. I feel like our spells are good enough as is. I do want another creature, even if it's a mediocre one. So I think that's fine. We're going to add land. We probably need like 2 swamps. So I'll go down on this, then up this. Yeah, this seems okay. I mean, like 8 sources for these double Annihilating Fires is a little awkward, but I mean the rest of our cards operate on 1 red. That's a little awkward though. And then we have 9 blue sources and then 3 white sources for 2 white cards, which seems alright. So we'll submit this. So that was the draft, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am going to see you guys in round 1. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments, and yep, I'll see you around.